Hi, Chase Craig here with Own Boise and Keller Williams Realty Boise, and today I am here to break down the monthly market dynamics for the month of March. Today is April 13th, 2020 as I'm recording this video. We have the stay-at-home order here in Idaho, so I'm here at my home office, and it's just me and one coworker today. That would be Mr. Grifster. He's not really working all that hard, to be honest with you, but just us today. Now, real estate was deemed essential. So what does that mean? It means that we can still help you buy and sell. So if you have a need to buy or sell real estate, we're here for you. And we have ways of doing that while keeping you safe. We have virtual tours. We can do FaceTime walkthroughs, Skype. We can do virtual consultations, virtual buyer and listing consultations. And we can even meet in person when necessary, safely, to help you achieve your goals in real estate. So don't hesitate. If you have questions right now, that's what we're here for. It's never too early to get your questions answered. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into the market dynamics. I've been getting a lot of questions as to what's happening in the market. Like, should I buy? Should I sell? Chase, predict the future. What's going to happen? Well, I can't predict the future, but what I can do is help you understand what's actually happening in the market. So let's do that by looking at active listings. This is a metric that we've been watching very, very, very closely over the last year. And last month, the big news was inventory went down from January to February, which never happens, at least that I'm aware of. It almost always goes up. So that was the big news. Well, what's the big news from February to March? Inventory doubled. Now, what does that actually mean to you? I think some people are saying, oh my gosh, inventory doubled. That's the sign that we're going to have a big crash in the real estate market. I don't think so. That's not what that means to me. So first, I want to explain, well, how did we get there? Well, let's just figure out how we doubled exactly. I think two things happened. One, our inventory is so ridiculously low, we had nowhere to go but up. And we almost always go up from February to March as well. You know, sometimes it's 100 listings, sometimes it's 200 listings. So let's just say it was 150 listings would have been what we normally would have saw in March. So where'd the other 200 listings come from, right? Well, that's where I believe the second piece of data comes from. We have pendings going down from February to March. And in large part, I think that's due to transactions falling apart due to COVID-19. As you may or may not know, we had the largest applications for unemployment ever here this last month. And any of those people who might have been under contract to purchase a home, well, they couldn't perform on that loan, so they couldn't perform on buying the home, so they had to cancel the contract. So that's where I think this number came from. This was not driven by panic selling or people who are thinking, oh my gosh, the market's going to crash, take my house, so I don't have to give it back to the bank. That's not taking place. So let's take a peek at inventory. Well, you can see inventory actually went up, and I'll show you the numbers from last month here. We had 5 months of supply over 1 million, almost, a little over 2 months from 500 to 1 million, and then less than 2 months on every other category. Well, last month, if you remember, we had less than 1 month under 600,000 and less than 2 months under 1 million, and then 3 months over 1 million. So our inventory did go up. Now that could be there's a couple things that you need to understand there. They calculate this number based on the amount of homes sold in the last 12 months versus the active inventory. Well, if we didn't have enough homes to sell prior, then this number doesn't really match up. So what I mean by that is we might have had buyers that could have bought homes that didn't buy homes in the $300,000 range because there was no homes to buy. Or same with the $1 million range, right? Let's go back to this number here. There was only 87 homes sold over $1 million in the last 12 months. Well, if there was more listings to sell, it's possible that there could have been more than 87 sales. So don't get too hung up on this inventory number. Just understand that right now, well, two things you need to understand. 5 to 7 months is a balanced market. So if we have between 5 and 7 months, it's not really a buyer or a seller's market. If it's less than 5 months, it's usually a seller's market. If it's more than 7 months, it's usually a buyer's market. Well, looking at this right here, even with inventory doubling, we still have a huge seller's market. So what I would tell you is if you're considering selling, 3 things you'd want to know. Interest rates are the lowest they've ever been. This morning I was talking to my lender, they were 3 to 3.25 for a 30-year fixed, which is insane. So that means that affordability is really good. Prices have never been higher than this, ever, not ever. That's just a fact. So if you're wanting to take advantage of the top of the market, we know what the top of the market is today. Do we know what it's going to be in 6 months? We have no clue. And then lastly, inventory is still so low that I think you're in a really good position if you're considering selling. Now, if you're a buyer in today's market, the same thing kind of holds true there, right? Affordability is very good. With inventory increasing, you might have less competitiveness going on in the market, which means instead of fighting over the same house, maybe it's just you making an offer to that seller. I'm not suggesting that today you can go negotiate 10 grand off or anything like that. Every house has its own specific situation, so you want to ask your real estate agent or ask us when we can help you. What I am suggesting, though, is there's going to be a lot less pressure on the buyer side, at least today, than there was 30 days ago. So lastly, I wanted to share an article that I had seen. This was done by Veros, and they basically, track risk and data, and they are kind of, I don't know if it's doom and gloom, but they're saying they're really expecting housing prices to go down due to COVID-19. Well, they actually broke down their 10 strongest markets over the next 12 months in the United States. Number 1 is Boise. They're predicting a 7.6% annual appreciation increase. Now, do I agree with that? No, I don't think we're going to see that kind of increase this year. I do think we are going to see an increase, a potential increase. I think if we do see a decrease, a lot will have to change over the next few months. And then you can see some of the markets that maybe didn't favor as well as we did. So what does this mean? If you're looking to wait until the market comes down, you could potentially be waiting quite a while. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next 6 to 12 months. Anyone that tells you they do, I would be very cautious. What I do know is that rates have never been lower, inventory is still extremely low, and prices have never been higher. So if you're considering selling, now's a great time to sell. Again, I'm Chase Craig with Own Boise and Keller Williams. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions, we're here to help. So either put it in the comments or send us a direct message or email or phone call. We'd love to help you out and love to help you with your situation. Thanks guys so much for taking a watch at this. And if you have any questions at all, you know where to find us. Have a great day.